Emperors ruled with an iron fist over the land throughout the Qing Dynasty. The ordinary person didn't have any say, and the acting ruler decided their fate. The absolute monarchy flourished. However, by the late 19th to 20th century, China had reached the point called the Century of Humiliation. The greatest instigator of this downfall was the Dowager Cixi, which single-handedly brought down the whole Chinese society. In the year 1835, a girl named Yehanara was born into a household fueled by drug problems. She became a concubine and entered Chinese politics in 1852 to avoid poverty. When she arrived at the courtroom, the country was already in disarray. As she sees her country fall apart even more after the Second Opium War, her yearning for power continues to grow. Together with Emperor Sanfeng, they had one child named Cai Chun. When the emperor was exiled from Peking after the war, Cai Chun became the official emperor of China. However, he was deemed too young. Therefore, Yehanara, who changed her name to Cixi, became the empress of the land. She was never China's official emperor. However, every important transaction and legislature bill she passed had to be approved. As the dowager sits upright on her throne in the Forbidden City, she orders her servants to throw vast sums of tax money and renovate her glorious resting place, the Summer Palace. Use the money to renovate the palace. Make it so marvelous that even the gods will smile upon looking at it. And whoever doesn't follow my orders, I'll make them suffer for a lifetime, she says. Wasting no time, the servants hand out these orders to coolies, who get to work immediately. Some of them die underneath the scorching heat of the Beijing summer. To avoid backlash from citizens, their bodies are quickly disposed of in the river. The considerable compound, spanning over 3,000 kilometers, was renovated within no time. However, the tax money was meant to modernize the navy. The navy generals, nervous of the dowager's spending habits, pled with the empress, "Our dear ruler, the money to our navy has all been used up. Please, we cannot afford the risk of being invaded again." The dowager smirked and told her guards, "Get this man out of my palace." With her immense wealth generated from the Chinese people's blood, sweat, and tears, she was not afraid to spend it all. In the lake of her summer palace, she ordered a grandeur boat to be made for her. The result was a floating palace made out of 100% pure marble, while spending much of the nation's fortune on it. Even though surrounded by the splendor of the summer palace, Cixi wasn't satisfied. She believed she deserved better treatment and decided to host huge celebrations on birthday parties at the iconic Pai Yun Dian, or the Hall of the Dispelling Clouds. The Pai Yun Dian was filled to the brim with lavish decorations, wooden furniture, and the highest quality of Chinese pottery. Inside these parties, the dowager and civil servants would drink away the country's wealth, whilst the average Chinese person died of hunger on the streets. However, when the war came, the empress was proved incapable of ruling. When the Japanese invaded Korea and northern parts of Manchuria, the Chinese Navy, although superior in manpower, proved incapable compared to the Japanese, which brought their modern metal gunboats. During the war, the Chinese Navy suffered devastating defeat after defeat and eventually surrendered to the Japanese. Public outrage filled the streets of China, and the people demanded reform. Underneath the pressure, the dowager agreed to reforms within the country. She also decided to let Chinese people live under a newly formed constitution by 1916. However, her health severely deteriorated, and Cixi died at the age of 72 in the year 1908, leaving behind her a fractured country destined to fail under foreign and domestic pressures.